Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Trani here. I'm going to dive into today's masterclass, Photoshop masterclass, using artificial intelligence, machine learning, and Photoshop. So using some of that technology in Photoshop as well as elsewhere, right? So that is the plan. It's a slight continuation on what we were working on last week. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Want to welcome you here. Marsha, Steve's in the house. Frank's here. I admire all of you. Michelle, good to see you. Hopefully everything's looking and sounding good. Sean, yeah, so we'll dive on into this. Thanks for joining me. Wherever you may be hailing from. So let's, yeah. So I'm gonna dive into all of this. I have so much to show that my brain is spinning. To be honest with you, like I'm all over the place. But let's just go ahead and share my screen right now. You can see what I have going on. Here we are. Boom, boom. My lovely cabinet of curiosities, something that I've just kind of started. We worked on this last week, just so you know, this interesting creature, right? It's kind of where we started, right? So kind of like a taxidermy craziness. If you want to read up on Cabinet of Curiosities, hopefully I have it still up. Just a collection of notable objects, right? But it's not really a cabinet, it's more like a room. So this is kind of like our crazy inspiration. Something like all this stuff is so cool. In fact, we will actually just take this as inspiration, we'll copy it, and drop it into Photoshop as our inspiration. But I think it's fun. I'm also really into the podcast Cabinet of Curiosities by Aaron Mahnke, which is really awesome. So again, look at all these crazy fun things. Look at this. Just like, I don't even know what half this stuff is. So we're going to use not only AI, machine learning, Adobe Sensei in Photoshop, but we're also going to use other tools as well. So don't freak out, but you know what? You guys probably know about these things out there. There's a couple things called that allow you to sort of just basically machine learning apps. So a couple of those are DALL-E, for instance, being able to type in a phrase and get something. So this is what I used DALL-E for, by the way. So what happens here, this is machine learning. So it jumps out, I type in Cabinet of Curiosities. It tries to return something that's like a Cabinet of Curiosities for me here, right? And then there's something called MidJourney. And there are others out there, but this is MidJourney. Let me try to find the ones that I typed on here. Probably all went away. There we go. This one's more interesting. This Cabinet of Curiosities. Look at this. This is from MidJourney. So I just typed in Cabinet of Curiosities, got some of this. So I might be using some of this as the background or at least inspiration for what I'm doing today is the plan. So by the way, are you guys interested in this, Frank? Let's have a conversation. That's the whole goal of this. It's just to talk, right? I mean, look at this. Come on, Sam. Let's talk about this stuff. Is this cool? Is it scaring you? But what you typically do here is you get your results, your Cabinet of Curiosities, and you can upscale them. That's what these are. So I upscaled all four, and then I said, give me variations on the four because this does a great job. Way better than what I got over here in DALL-E, by the way. So that's what's kind of running in the background. If I scroll down, we hopefully will see them back here somewhere. These are just other people's input. It runs through Discord, as you can tell. So this is the hardest part. It's like you got to kind of drill down and find yours. I don't know if there's an easier way. But there we go. Here's one that I upscaled. So this is one we might use. Right? So again, copy that image. We're getting our resources. We're getting our inspiration. I'll paste that in here as well. Oh, look at this one. That's cool too. So, hello, everyone. By the way, so this one, if I'm really interested in it, I can upscale to max. So let's get the maximum resolution out of that one. I also like this one. This one will work well. Upscale to max as well. But again, I could just kind of take this as a reference, copy it. If I need random piles of organs or whatever, I have them right there. Cool. Upscale means up the resolution. increase the resolution and the detail as well. Okay, cool. So here's my inspiration, right? I have those. These will be part of the background. So I'll drop those back here, right? Let's hide this crazy creature because here they all are. You can see this one I already put back there, right there. So this one's actually kind of cool, right? Let's give this a little bit of a stroke, by the way, because it's been bothering me all morning. I'm working on the stroke for the type. Oop, wrong layer. If you're ever working on the wrong layer, I say I do that all the time. Boop, boop. There we go. There we go. Work it, Paul, work it. Get that back down. There we go. And then we'll change this to overlay. Or not. Soft light. All right, you get the idea. Just trying to make that stand out a little bit more. All right, let's get this party started. You thought you lose res. So how this all works, by the way, how this was created, you know, it goes out, you know, tries to find things that are in Cabinet of Curiosities on the internet. And this is what most of those cabinets look like, starts to put them together. And then it says, oh, I got to go back out again and add more detail. So I don't know, I guess I'd call them the computers. The programming goes out and grabs a higher resolution version of it or tries to sharpen it as much as possible, right? Cool. Here's our guy. This is our owner of Cabinet of Curiosities right here, our good friend. So that's kind of what's happening. Hopefully that makes sense when I say upscale. It goes out and it just increases the resolution based on the original assets. All right. Any collab with Jason Levine? Not currently, but hey, that sounds good to do. I'm gonna really get into this. I like this background. More are gonna be coming, but they're all gonna. I love this. I love the tone of this background. So let's turn this off. Actually, let's just put this in its own little group. Like he's actually a little bit different tone, right? And I want him to match this cabinet background. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this owner because the darks aren't even quite there. There's a couple different ways I could do this, but I'm gonna try this just for kicks. We'll go into Neural Filters. On this layer, we'll go to Harmonization. Harmonization will then basically steal the color from that cabinet and apply it to this guy who's in the foreground. Make him look like he's part of that environment. So that's what it did. It really boosted the lights and darks and makes him look like he fits in there a little bit more. And I'm kind of into that. I think it probably needs to be a little bit more saturated. So I'll crank up the saturation off to the side, right? So this is Adobe Sensei going out, analyzing that image, you know, stealing the colors, the brightness, the contrast, and applying it to this image. Some touch-ups that I probably still need to do with it, just FYI. I think it needs to be warmer, so I'll just, not do those tones. Definitely needs more yellow. There we go. And at least that's a start. Okay, so this is where I want to get into Adobe Sensei magic in Photoshop, right in here. He should be so happy he has, everybody's saying hello. He kind of has a proud look, which I'm into, right? But I want to do a couple things with him. I'm thinking that since he owns this Cabinet of Curiosities, like, let's pretend like this is something that he's collected over his lifetime. So I actually want to change his facial age. So this is using machine learning, right? So it understands, this is Adobe Sensei, analyzing all these images of older people's faces, right? And then applying it to this person's face. So that's what I'm doing. It's processing in the cloud because it has to go out and analyze. It knows kind of what old people's faces look like, but it has to like apply all of that to our guy right here. And there we go. So notice how it added some gray hair. It put some gray in the beard too. Might have given him more texture on the face. But that makes him look a little bit older because he's a little bit of a, he's a young guy. So let's crank this up some more and see what we get. That's what I'm talking about. I just want somebody like a little bit older. Something like that works for me. Right, we can dive into more of this if we want to adjust the head direction, make them look angry. No, we don't want to do any of that. Maybe we'll increase the hair thickness. Let's see what happens when we do that really fast. Everybody's, oh, he has scissors. So he's a barber, right? But what I'm going to do is he's in this cabinet of curiosities, all this crazy stuff. I want to like have a maybe like a sea creature mixed with something else, like wrapping his tentacle around his body and then grabbing his hand right there. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the plan for our lovely guy right here. So let's crank this all the way up because I just think this facial age needs to crank it all the way up. Crank it to 11. Yeah, Michelle, these are pretty amazing. Thank you for thinking so. Javier, I see you out there on Facebook. Afroja Yasith, Elisa, good morning to you. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever today may find you. It is our Friday. Yeah, I'm glad it's Friday as well, even though I'm going to be working over the weekend. Because I love what I do. Right, so it should have cranked that up. We'll just go ahead and click OK. By the way, just to recap, I applied harmonization to normalize the colors with the background, and I added smart portrait just to kind of change his age. And I'm going to output this as a smart filter right down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and retain full control over this. Right? Go through. There he is. There's our older gentleman. He's a little bit older. Let's center him. I'm not sure why, but right down here, so you can see the neural filters, that smart filter. I don't know why it adds that layer mask. I usually just throw that mask away. Maybe you guys know why it's there, but let's do that. Let's grab this. Here's our tentacle, right? Shrink that down. Have some fun with it. And I've already cut out a lot of this stuff like I usually have. Look at this mess of tentacles. But some of these we could use. This one, yeah. Let's use that one. And then we'll hold on to this one here as well. Okay, this is good. This one's better for the behind him. So we'll take that, maybe move that up there. We'll see how this goes. And add a layer mask, get rid of some, like, brush. Like I just want those like little suction cup parts mixed in with this one here. That's gonna wrap around some more. It's almost a little long, so I'm going to have to do some editing. All right, let's get to work. I'm like, things are about to get ugly. Let's chop this. Chop that in half. This part is going to need to go down here. So Command T, rotate that around. I'll probably cut that up a little bit. I'll shrink this. It's like, it doesn't need to be that big. Can I wrap it around and down? That's the big question. And is this the right tentacle, or do I take another one? That looks pretty good. Yeah. Octopi are my new thing, man. And my new thing. Puppet warp. So let's just go ahead and make that a smart object. I love puppet warp, as you guys know, right? Because it's perfect for tentacles, right? Let's take that. Pop, pop. Zoop, zoop. By the way, look at this. You really want to create some cool distortions? Like, I want to make it look like this part is coming out. You ready for this? Right up here. Change this to distort. Okay, right now it's set to normal. If I set that to distort, watch as I pull this out, you can see how big that gets. Let's make this smaller, right? See, I get that distortion that I like. Maybe try to make this part bigger than the other part. Is kind of the idea. You might need more points to do this, but you get the idea. Let's move that up. We'll connect it up there. It's getting very bulbous. Isn't that funny? Bloop, bloop, bloop. Alrighty. But he's just a friendly, you know, octopus are so, octopi? Octopi, they're like, you know, have you ever seen, what is it, My Pet Octopus? That's like one of my favorite documentaries. How could you not just be in love with octopi after watching that? That's all I have to say. It was so good. We'll do the same with this one right here. Bring that up. Swoop it around so it's going at that angle. You get the idea. And we'll work on the shading and everything as well. Oops. There we go. Something kind of like that. They're so tasty. I don't know, like I like grilled octopus. It's good. Honestly, I swear it tastes like rubber. I don't know if it tastes like anything, if I'm being honest. Does it taste like anything? I think it tastes like whatever sauce you cooked it in. So that's all, guys. I know. Since we've already done these, all these different cool things to our owner, I just want to like preserve all that stuff and just make it easier on me. I'll usually just like, boom, drop that into its own smart object by using a shortcut. So set up shortcuts for obviously all your favorite tools. Ryan, are you making a joke? What if the tentacle is holding a skull which has a flower coming out of its eye socket? I would love to have a little vase of flowers, but instead of like the head of the flower and the petals, I want to have little skulls in there. I think that would be neat because that's what the Cabinet of Curiosities is all about. Making it curious. I don't even know if I like him old like he is. I feel like since I turned that into a smart object, I'm going to undo that. Fascinating. Okay, just ran into something. When I converted this to a smart object, it's like kind of got rid of or really kind of jacked with the colors a little bit, just FYI. Anyways, I'm just going to jump this layer. I'll bring it up here. Heck, I'm just going to rasterize it because I'm a rebel and I don't got time to fool around today. Let's take this hand, right? Let's use, we'll go right in here, object selection tool. Zoop, zoop, jip, 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 whoop, whoop, jip, jip. You know there's some skulls back there, for sure. There's his arm, bam. Now we can say, you know, arm, boom. Now it looks kind of like he's grabbing his tentacle there. He's like, hold on, big guy. And if you're just joining me, the goal is to, you know, work on something that is using machine learning. Go like that. That looks good. That's fine. That's fine, people. Maybe I will bring back Puppet Warp. Since this is a smart object, it's going to remember all your pins, which I think is great because I'm realizing like this part even, I want to just kind of bring that in like so, like maybe like that, right? And that could still kind of wrap in there like so. Okay, this did a smart detect of his arm, but I still might need to do a little bit of cleanup like so. In fact, let's get rid of that chunk so it's like it looks like he's grabbing it. And we can add our shading and all that fun stuff. But hopefully you guys are doing well. How's everybody doing? Beta, you like it? Good morning to you as well. Okay, different ways to add shading. I've talked about this before. The quick and dirty way is you could just jump in and pick the darkest color, hit B for brush, make sure it's a soft brush. This is how like you start out as a beginner. And I'll still do this just for when I'm in a rush, I'll jump in and just airbrush that. And that works out actually fantastic. Like if that works for you, and that's exactly what I do when I get in a rush. Another way to really darken things is to use an adjustment layer. So I'll go in, I'll use like, I don't know, levels or curves. But let's go into levels. We'll clip it to just this tentacle. Okay, because honestly, the whole tentacle needs to be darker. But I could go ahead and make the tentacle darker, the whole thing. And then I can jump in and add highlights too. So I can kind of crank that down, go to the mask on that levels layer, hit B for brush, and we're still painting with the same brush, so it's just as easy. But now we're just like adding those highlights like so. So that's a better way to add shading in this case for this part. Okay. There's that piece. We'll do the same right down here because we need to darken that. So we'll go to levels, clip it. Sometimes I'll use brightness and contrast, but essentially when you're in the levels panel, this is your slider for brightness. So this is like having brightness, and this is more this is like your contrast. And it's funny because all of these, if you look at them, they almost go in level of complexity. Easiest, more advanced. Curves is more advanced than levels, right? Because levels just deals with like the lightness of the image. Curves gets into color, and then there's exposure. I don't know why exposure's down here. It's probably the least used, but yeah, that's there. So, anyways, enough jibber jabbering, right? We can crank that down as much as we want, and I'm even going to add some shading in there as well. Beaver brush, right? We can do something kind of like that. Zip. Okay, you get the idea. This part's going to go down and probably kind of come out of this part. Man, Jay, boom, boom. Hurry, Paul, hurry. I'm just chopping this thing up like nobody's business. Ooh, let's have it wrap around his arm. Ooh, that's going to be fun. We'll do something like this. And it might be a little bit more complex than we needed, but let's take this and get rid of it. You guys enjoying this? I'm sorry I'm kind of losing the theme with the whole machine learning, but I kind of found the assets that I want. And again, we're going to use that other stuff for inspiration. And that's kind of where this like octopus thing came from. Because I was seeing all of these crazy like, I don't know, things in jars and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I just thought he needed an octopus arm, just kind of bring that background into the foreground. Let's scroll down and we'll look for our higher res versions. For those of you guys just joining me, this is MidJourney, which uses machine learning to analyze a bunch of images and returns an image based on a phrase that you typed in. Here we go. So this sort of crazy thing, this is very mushy. Lots of mushy things in here, and that's, I think, how I ended up with octopus. Oh, this one's gorgeous too. Upscale to max, upscale to max. So we're upscaling it. It's going down, analyzing it. Let's get all upscales of all of these. So we're getting the largest resolution possible. And what we can try, you ready for this? Well, we're just going to have we're going to have robots working behind the scenes. I'm working in Photoshop. It's a whole collaborative effort with computers. I want to do like mythical animal. We'll even type in mythical animal, mythical animal that's part alligator, fish, part alligator, part antelope. Let's do everything that starts with an A. Aardvark. Okay, mythical animal, part alligator, part antelope, part aardvark, realistic. And see what we get. So, like, as a creative, you might know exactly what you want. You might not know. You might say, hey, help me brainstorm, computer. And that's what I think this helps me do. It just kind of jumps out there. Helps me brainstorm. These are not realistic. I must have done something wrong. It's the mythical animal that I think is throwing it off. So you really need to almost be an artist with your phrasing, right? Who would have thought that being an artist these days would mean, you know, typing in phrases? But, I mean, these are still decent. I don't know. This is fun. This could be inspiration for me. So, yeah, maybe I make this or something similar, potentially. Okay? But I think this mythical animal. So we'll just do animal, and we're just going to see what we get. And we'll have that do its thing. So, again, just drawing inspiration from these lovely machine learning tools that we can then use in our designs. Or use as inspiration. Here we go. Boom. So this look at all these, again, that's why I have tentacles and all this weird stuff. I'm into it. So we'll copy that. We'll bring that into Photoshop, and maybe this is our new background, right? We'll drop that back there. Yeah, we'll scale it up. Don't mind me. But now we have this guy in this crazy environment. We'll have this weird. Do you notice what I'm noticing? I think this needs more yellow than, and it's going to depend on the background, but there needs to be more of a, like an orange cast on this tentacle. And I need to kind of still wrap it around everything. So there's a lot I need to do. So let's just get to work. Enough talking, Paul. Jeez, you guys just tell me to shut up. Fiona, I am glad you're here. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'm going to turn this off. So disable layer mask because I need to go in. I actually will delete this entirely. Delete that layer mask. Make this a smart object. I always make it a smart object before I start warping things. But let's pin down this part that we don't want to move. We'll have this maybe go up. Right? Maybe this part will kind of go down. It's like so easy to work with. Something kind of like this. It's going to hug his arm. It's going to go up here. Wrap around down here, and then it's going to come out the other side. But really, it's just this midpoint, I think, is what I'm going to work with. So there, it's done. Command J. Add a mask. Oh, by the way, does anybody know this? Reverb Mike, help me out here. I know you know this. You're probably giving some witty comment out there, but what's the shortcut for creating a layer mask? Just a blank layer mask. Does it tell me down here? No. Let's do that again. Delete layer mask. Right down here, is there a shortcut for layer mask? And if so, I can't believe I'm asking this, and I can't believe I didn't know sooner. So let me know if you know the shortcut for that. Because I'm realizing I do make it a fair amount. So I need to build in my own shortcut if there isn't one already. Sorry to call you out, Reverb Mike. Control N? Okay, I'm going to try it. Let's do a new layer. Control N. Nope. It didn't do it for me. Are you just guessing? Oh, funny. Clipping mask. B for brush. We'll bounce to the smooth one. Make this darker. Not quite that. We got to make it kind of round. So it's going to be darker over there, light over here. Right? We're keeping this somewhat simple. And let's make sure we get rid of these other parts too. Right down here. Let's drop the opacity so we can see it. Because I just want to get rid of this little part so it looks like it's wrapping under. There we go. That's all I want for that part. I want a lot of ins and outs. Oh, enlightened Swami, you were kidding. Yeah, you're kidding. As soon as you noticed it didn't work, you were like, just kidding. Just messing with you. Again, we'll take down the whole, like the darkness of the overall thing. I just like doing this because it's so fun. And that's the thing about a lot of this, by the way. Like I personally have fun creating, and I feel like that's the biggest message I have, at least for myself over the past year or so, is to like enjoy creating. Right? Just like enjoy making what you want to make. Like there might be an easier way to do this, but like how fun is this to be like, hey, you know, let me be an artist. Let me paint this on here and add this highlight. So yeah, and I can still, I love the results that I get from these other apps, by the way, except for what I'm getting with DALL-E today. But it's just like, it's just fun creating is all I have to say. Right? Paint that on. And this is what's so nice about this is I could always make this. See how that gets darker? So look at that control I get. Yeah, I noticed if I push it darker, it looks even better. So that's what we want. That's kind of wrapping around like so. We need to put his head on him, right? He needs a ton of other parts. Option, Shift, Command, K. That brings up the keyboard shortcuts. Good call. Right? So again, that's kind of wrapping around. We still need to do all our color adjustments, but color really isn't what I don't get too carried away with it until this guy gets carried away with this huge octopus. In other words, I don't get carried away with it until I have this, you know, more ironed out, till I have all the parts in place, right? Let's take that, chop it. That's right. Anyone else like octopus? So this one will be back like right back there. It's going to be behind him. There we go. There we got to go deeper. And it's getting scary. It's getting a little scary. So what I would do is start grouping these together. Group, tentacles. And by the way, like our character that we made last week, this little guy, he was going to be on like a little pedestal. Right? So I was going to have some other, like, there's going to be a foreground, which is the guy, our shop owner. Sort of mid-ground was going to have some other animals, right? Like this guy. Like something on one side, something on the other side, and then there's the background. So we're really like sort of making the full composite is the goal in here. Let's get rid of that filter. But that's all that's going on there. Command G. So this is a platform. Forms. Here, you ready for this? Peter, I'm so glad everybody's here. Octopus are cute. Is it octopi? I don't know. Am I saying it wrong? But this is a tip I absolutely love. Like, here's a situation where, and let's get rid of that. Heck, let's just put everything in this background. No, we won't. Never mind. We'll keep it out. Let me zoom in on this. For my platforms, for this platform, everything needs to be darker, right? So you can make an additional adjustment layer. We'll go with levels, right? We'll put that outside of, this is what people usually do, is you could put it outside. Watch, I'll just, crank this down. You could see it's affecting everything. But I just want it to affect this platform. So you'll make it into a clipping mask. Boom. It just affects that one, the one platform, okay? Which I get it, I still need to adjust. But I wanted to show you this, because this just seems a lot cleaner to me, is to drop this right in here. It is just octopuses? I don't know. Apparently it's octopuses according to Google. Oh, thank you for that, Sam. I had no idea. So check this out. I put it inside. So rather than it being a clipping mask outside, I put it in here. Guess what happens? It's affecting everything, right? I'll turn that on and off. It's affecting everything beneath that. But if I go to this platform layer group, this folder, if you will, go up to the top and say, hey, you know what? Don't have that stuff pass through. Just have whatever adjustment layers I add in there, because I'm going to have a couple, just have them stay in the folder. So change that to normal. And there we are. It just affects that. So let's do that again. Pass through affects everything. Normal just affects the things in the folder. Right? So that gets to be pretty handy. And it just kind of makes everything cleaner over here, which I like. And like I said, it's like if I drop in a photo filter, because I was thinking I would need some sort of photo filter with a color cast. Right? So that's what it's doing. But notice how I add it. It's just affecting that platform. That's all. I've talked about that, I don't know, once or twice before, but that's been a big tip for me. Clever, you like the antelope monster little creature thingy? Yeah, I don't know. So this is the problem I have with this. I don't want a bunch of dead animals back there. I want this guy to be like curating his cabinet of curiosities. So it's a lot of animals that he's feeding, he's keeping alive, he has interesting plants, things like that. So that's what I would go for. By the way, this color, this photo filter is really working really well. I'm going to end up doing the same thing to this, to the tentacle. Like, it desperately needs it, by the way. Mainly that part. But here's a situation. Okay. Wait for it. Move that up. I'm just going to group this as well. Tentacle arm. Bam. Photo filter. Command J. Shaboom. Shabah. Change it to normal. You could hardly see it, but it's just, you know, adding yellow to the, excuse me, not yellow, a warming filter to it. So I'll crank it all the way up. Boop. There you go. You get the idea. I could also scale down that blue, because I think there's blue in the reflections, and that's kind of setting it off and making it weird, look weird. All right, let's keep working on this. Don't mind. Sorry, it's a little ugly. Let's get some more tentacles and some fun things in there, huh? We got this one. Flip horizontal. Yeah, let's get rid of that. We don't need that. Shabam. Take this one. Maybe I will flip it horizontal again. And what's cool is I could take that. I'm going to drop it right in the tentacles folder. And I'll make maybe some of these tentacles a little darker. Okay, you ready for this? So many tips. You ready for this? Reverb mic. Monkey, deer, gator. Hey, you guys tell me phrases. I'll type it in. Let's have this work for us. Monkey, deer, gator. Let's just see what happens if we type that in DALL-E. We'll get maybe some strange creature. Who knows? Maybe it'll give us inspiration. Okay, back to this. I'm going to show you this real fast. So, the tip I talked about earlier was helpful in keeping your adjustment layers in a folder. Let me do you one better, because this is for like just keeping your layers organized and clean. Tentacle. Check this out. I want to make this tentacle like darker. Oftentimes we'll go down here and we'll add a levels to it. Right, and that puts it on top, and then we got to do a clipping mask, and then we can go in here, and blah, 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 you know, you get the idea, right? I'm going to get rid of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do just Command L. More importantly, I'll just show you right up here. On the image, you can add levels this way. Watch what happens when I do it this way. Adjustments, levels. It brings it right up for me to immediately adjust, which I love. Drag that down. You know, you get the idea. And look, it puts it like right in here. So it's still a smart filter, but now what's nice about this is I get to kind of tuck that away. And I could also grab this, copy it to this one, boom, but they're all nestled away, and it just cleans up everything, right? Let's throw a warming filter on this as well. Bingo, 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 bingo. Boom, 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 boom. I love that. It's so subtle, but that photo filter helps out a lot. Okay. Oh, it's not a destructive way. Naveen, it is not. It's not destructive because it's a smart object. If it was just a pixel-based layer, then it would destroy it. But that's the thing I think we tricked everybody with, because now it intelligently applies these. But these are the only ones you can do, by the way. So, you know, it's the same things. You know, that's. Let me go to this one. Image, adjustments. No, you could do all of this stuff. You could do everything. Is that right? It might ask you to render it. But anyways, okay, let's continue on. We have that. We got this guy. Let's throw some more in here. Maybe I get this guy's bulbous head. I don't know. He needs he needs a head. Oh, let's see what we got here. Hello, animals. Here's all my animals that are cut out. Okay, so this is a case where I need something very specific. Ooh, this is the one. Never mind. I think I got it. Maybe. Oh, he looks so scary. He's scaring me, everybody. And maybe this guy will work. All right, anyways, let's do this. Let's take both of them. Let's go in here. And let's clean up this mess. X key, if you hit X on your keyboard, it will flip your foreground and background colors. What is it? Shift X will default it to black and white. I don't know if that's just for Illustrator or what. Again, let's clean that up. Move that over. Get rid of that. Chop its head off. So ruthless. This is a case where I know I use Puppet Warp a lot, but in this case, I would probably just use Warp. Ooh, a globe object in the back. Jay Shu, I see you, buddy. Awesome, on LinkedIn. That's a great idea. So anyways, I would jump in here. This is so bulbous. I want to kind of shrink it down, do some different things. So let's split this maybe right here, okay? So that kind of gives me the ability to scrunch up this top part, and you don't have to grab the points, but just allows me to make this part a little bit smaller while retaining the rest of it. So I don't know. I don't even know if this bulbous thing is really gonna, I don't even know if this shape's gonna look good, by the way. I just don't know. Drop that underneath. Look at how big that is. It's just so weird. Let's make that a smart object before I start shrinking it down. But does it have... We'll give the peak of an eye. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to give it a little peek. Okay, a little less AI today than I thought I'd get into. But again, that makes stuff's being made in the background. We'll check out our monkey whatever thing that we're making in the background. We'll check that out in a second. But there's our character. We want something kind of like that, peeking off to the side, just like let it know that it does have a head kind of hanging out there. Maybe it needs to be smaller. You get the idea. Let's take it, chop it. Don't need that stuff. It's not... Open to your thoughts. Again, Command L, since that's a smart object layer, crank that down. Kind of, actually, no, let's do this side. See, there's not a lot of darks in there, just making that head a little bit darker. And there's our friend. And he has to be holding on the other side, so that's a case where I need to go out and grab another arm. Hurry. I have to get moving on this. Geez. Stuff takes time, huh? What's up with that? Smart object. Puppet warp. Bam. 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 Zoop. Up. Change this to distort. See? Whoop. All bulbous and big. But that's all I'm doing there. Gonna get quiet. Getting quiet now. So that means I'm really focusing and I want to get this done. So I apologize. Ooh. Trying to get it done. Wait for it. Okay, that's just quick and dirty, just to give you an idea. Okay, cool. Oh, thank you. Good call, Jay. Little twinning happening right there. I get it. Oh, good catch. I gotta get rid of that. You ready for a quick pro tip? Option key, click on that eyeball. It turns everything off. So then I could just focus on this. Let's do a Command J to jump that layer. Select this. We're talking about like AI. This is also AI, right? It's like, you know what? Just figure out what the background's made of and fill it, right? That's what's happening here. Any content aware, that's, again, computers doing their magic. And now we can get rid of that bulbous thing, but it still looks like something's back there. And now we can, now we do run into the problem of I need to turn on everything. There we go. Bam. Tentacle arm, all this stuff. Look at how ridiculous this got. Let's see. Drop that in there. Checking the time. I only have 5 minutes. I'm definitely running out of time. I'm definitely going to feel that band hammer. But it's fun. Zoop. Levels. Right now, I'm just kind of repeating everything I was doing before. Okay. We're getting a lot done. Could not find add layer mask. It's a layer mask reveal all. Oh, Sean, you do a claw M. So like everything M. I like that term though, claw M. Because that's exactly what I do. Okay, so we'll grab this. This is going to be the tentacles in the front. So we'll group that. Tentacles front. And, oh yeah, by the way, we still have these other up-resed, that piece. What do you guys think of this? Do you guys like, do you like the green? Do you like the green for a change? I don't like how he's standing in the middle of it. He's covering up all the cool stuff. So that's why I don't think this works as a composition, but might work when it comes to the color. All right, let's go back out here. Let's take a look. That's the one I grabbed earlier. Remember, I upsized a couple more backgrounds or inspiration. Background we're still working on. But it gives us a good base, like a good overall theme for what I'm going for. Because honestly, I was kind of inspired by what I got. I was so impressed with when I typed into Cabinet of Curiosities on MidJourney, just so you know. It's not an Adobe product. I don't know if I'm even going to get in trouble for talking about it. I hope not. But honestly, I got a job to do. Ooh, here we go. So here's the full res. Ooh, here's the full res of this one, or the one with more detail, I should say. So let's kind of compare these two. Oops. Paste. Command T. Increase the size. This one should have more detail in it. But I don't know. Let's take a look. I don't know if it really looks like it has that much more detail in it. But anyways, there we have that. That's looking fine. Let's just turn that off. And let's go right over here. Monkey, deer, gator. Nah, didn't work. Monkey, deer. Okay, so that's not the appropriate phrasing. You could see some of the other fun animals I made, right? So this is an impression. Actually, I don't know what. Ooh, I uploaded an image. But here's the Cabinet of Curiosities. Here's where I was trying to make other animals. We can see it right here. Part elephant, part alligator, part deer, part eagle. Right, started getting all this stuff. Not quite what I wanted, but could still serve as inspiration for what I'm trying to do. But again, I have everything in here. And I would just continue to work on it in here. Okay, last move I'm going to make. that is adding a color lookup above everything else. Hide all my sins. Make this edgy amber, right? Look at, just gets rid of all the blues, ties it all together. You get the idea. But use these. Maybe even it's fall colors. So that gets rid of a lot of the blues. Look at how more tied up that is. So thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys. I think it was kind of fun. Hopefully you learned some things, is the goal. But yeah, thank you, Sam, Marsha, everyone. I have actually 34 more seconds. So I would take this, I would sharpen it, I would clean up the background. I determine the size I need to make it. A lot more I need to do, but you get the idea. So thanks so much, everyone. Appreciate you guys. I'll be back because I get to talk about old Adobe Express and like taking this to the next level and other things in Adobe Express. But thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you guys. I will be back in about an hour and a half. Have a good one. Stick around for Terry White. Thanks, everybody. See ya. Bye.